Hi all, I'd like to welcome you to this provincial referee course. My name is Neil Hanlon and I'm competitions coordinator with Tennis Ireland. This section of the course will deal with tournament software, how to set up a tournament, draws, seeds, rules, regulations, how to input all the information you need for your events. So first of all, you start by opening your tournament planner and clicking on Create New Tournament. It'll ask you to type in the name of the tournament. So we're going to type in Tennis Ireland demo event. Now we're going to save it. It'll then bring up a little thing where it says, do you want to start an official tournament? So you're going to click on no. So this is the part where you put in all your information. So we start by putting in the tournament organizer's name, which is going to be myself. My phone number. And email address. You also put in the referee's details. We'll use Simon's details for this one. Just remember when you are putting in details for this, that the email address and contact numbers you do put in will be visible for people to see. Okay. Next, we go to the club address. So this event we're going to host in St. Anne's in Waterford. I'm going to put in its full address. Including postcode. We'll also move over here to put in the club contact number. In case anyone have any questions about the club, how to get there, all that kind of stuff. And the email address. And we'll also put in the website. Next, we move to our events. So this one, you simply go to pick event. The list of all the events possible to run are here. So we are going to start off by having men's singles. We're going to have ladies singles. And we're going to have some mixed doubles events. Simply click on OK. You'll see all the events come up here. Just keep an eye of the level. So basically, if you're hosting a men's singles 1 event, make sure the level is fixed to 1 because this will have issues with importing rankings if not. So basically then you click on each event individually. It'll bring you up here to minimum and maximum age. So maximum age, minimum age, we're going to set to 18. We're not going to set the max age. And you could also set your fee here. So we're going to set singles fees to €12. And we're not going to limit our entries. We're just going to hit OK. You do the same for the women's singles. So again, minimum age 18, fee €12. So now we move to the mixed doubles events. Again, the age stays the same. We're going to charge €10 for this. Just keep an eye here. So if you're limiting your doubles events, say you want to limit it to 16 teams. So max entries. So each entry is considered 1 individual. So if you want to limit it to 16, we're going to limit it to 32. And if you want to do a reserve list in case anyone pulls out, you just simply click on this box. We're going to do the same all the way down. The next thing you see you have to click on is the days of your tournament. So simply follow the calendar, go to the first date you're looking for. So we're going to go to the 1st of December. You simply make sure the blue box is highlighting the 1st of December, hit add, and then it'll simply move to the next date. So you keep going. So we're going to do a week-long tournament up to the 8th. And that's us done. The next thing we move on to is our times. So what times are we going to have the first matches going on? So for instance, we're free all day Sunday. So we're going to start at 9 a.m. 10 a.m. 11 a.m. 12 noon, 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. Let's say then you've coaching midweek. So we're going to start at 6 p.m. 7 p.m. 8 p.m. at 9. So you'd fill this out for each day, depending on your court availability. Once you've that done, you move on to your location and your courts. So main location is where you're going to host the tournament, so the main venue. So for us, it's going to be St. Anne's. So we're going to actually change the name on this to St. Anne's, Waterford. We're also going to add in the courts. So if you click here and add, it can give you the option to put in the courts you're using. So how many? So we're going to use 5 courts for this competition. We're also going to put in the club address here. So and again, postcode. And the contact number of the club. You're then going to move on to available courts. So you see here, if you click on Sunday, these are the times you put in a few minutes ago. So 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 noon, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. So we have 5 courts and we're going to use those all day. You then click on the little box here for Monday and you see the times change because we're starting at 6 p.m. due to coaching or events on in your club. And say sometimes coaching runs over to 6:30 on 2 courts. So we're only going to use 3 courts for the first hour. And we're back to 5 for the rest of the evening. And you fill that out, so on. If you are doing another venue using outside courts, simply here, add another venue. And venue 2. Again, add in the courts. So maybe there's 2 courts here. Again, you put in the address and the available courts in those locations at that time. The next one we're going to jump down to is round robins. So basically, this is if you're hosting a round robin event and you want to do different points for matches won or drawn or lost, or if you want to calculate how people go through. So I would simply, matches won would be 1 point, drawn matches will be 0, and matches lost is 0. The next step is our entry fees. So this is for anything extra, like your Tennis Ireland capitation fee, which we're going to add in. So you simply click on add. It'll just explain then what you're doing. You're adding in extra items for people. So we're going to put in Tennis Ireland. Capitation fee, which for masters and national events is €6, and for junior events is €4. And because it's mandatory, we're going to click on this little button here. So this is for all events that have a permit from Tennis Ireland. People need to pay a capitation fee for. Then say we're going to have a barbecue on finals night. We're going to give people the option to buy a ticket for that. So we'll just put in barbecue number, and then we're going to charge €5. We're not going to make this mandatory, so we're going to leave that box unticked. I'm going to press OK. Next tab we have is draws. So this is basically how I'd like my draws to look. So if I want to include my courts in my draw sheet, simply just click here. If you're using the 2 venues and you want to show people where they're playing, you simply click this. And again, if you're having people play more than 1 match a day, you can have a little break. So after the first match, so we're going to put this to an hour. Next one, we move on to scheduling. So this just allows you, for when you're doing your schedule, it'll help you. So if you want to limit the singles matches per day to 1, when you try to put in a second one, just the system will alert you to say it cannot be done. You can override it, which I'll show you later on. The next tab is score. So here you can edit your scoring properties. So for this event, we're going to do the last set as a championship tiebreak. So we're simply going to do match tiebreak 10. That's okay. We then move on to officials. So our referee for this event is Simon. So we're going to add Simon in here. And we're going to do the first date of his referee is going to be for when we open the tournament, in case people have queries. We're going to open this tournament on the 1st of November. The last date of his role will be finals day on the 8th of December, and we're going to put him as the referee. So there's all your properties that you've done, starting with your information, your address, your events, your days, your times, locations and courts, round robin information, entry fees, draw details, scheduling, scores, and officials. So you simply click on OK. So the next thing you want to do is you want to publish this on tournament software. So you simply go to publish. So there's a little box here. You could put in welcome message or some information. So we're just going to type in welcome to this year's event. Entry open. So you will see down here then there's a little box called auto upload results. So this is handy if you are on the desk in the middle of your tournament. Basically, if you click this button here, every time you put in a result, it'll automatically update, so you don't have to go in and manually publish. Again, this little box here. So show scheduled matches. So this is basically if you're working on your schedule during your event and you're not done and you want to limit to how many days in advance people can see. So say we're going to do schedule up to Tuesday. So we're just going to click on the Tuesday box. And when we hit publish, people will only see the schedule up to Tuesday, and then we can work on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we can change it as the week goes on. The next tab here is online entry. So this is when are you going to start taking entries? So we said earlier on, we're going to go 1st November. The last date of entry then, we're going to go as Tuesday the 19th. So we're going to post our acceptance list on the 20th. So people will have till the 21st to withdraw. And here you can edit how many events you want people to enter. Whether your club has space to run, take three events per person. And maybe you just want them playing 1 singles, 1 doubles, and 1 mixed. You can edit it here. You can also click this box here if the person requires a doubles partner upon entry, or you can leave it unticked and people will link their doubles partners themselves, or people might not have a partner, so then they'll hit the partner required option and you can match them up with someone. The next tab here is a handy one to use, so it's online results. So basically, if you have a volunteer on the desk that's not used to tournament software, but they're able to use the normal login for entering tournaments, you can give them a password. So simply turn this on and we call it demo 1. So when they log in, go to the tournament which you're hosting, click on matches, it'll ask them for this password. They put in the password and the only thing they can do is add in scores for matches on that night. The next tab we have is events. So this is a good one to know if you want to limit when your events open. So if you know like your mixed doubles events are going to be filling out fast and you want to stagger entry, so you can unclick here the singles. So because they're unticked, people can only enter mixed 3, mixed 5, and mixed 6. And then you can go back in at a later time and tick these events, and then people can enter the singles events. This is where you put in your rules and regulations and you edit them. So basically, we do have templates which are available to you that you can use. Just if you are using the templates, make sure that the dates you have changed on the template, and any rules that we have that might need editing, like if you say you're allowing people to enter 2 singles events and 1 doubles or mixed event, so you'll have to edit that and put in the price you're charging for each event. The next tab you have is availability. So it's good to know if this function is left on, people can block out days that they're not available. From running tournaments myself, I turn this off because you're better off leaving people have a note, because then they might go, I'm not available, say Sunday between 9 and 11, instead of blocking the whole day of Sunday out and you're trying to do your schedule around them and they are actually available. So you'll simply just turn all of them to no. If you do decide to leave it to yes, you will see at the end here, you can give the people options whether they're allowed a 1 day unavailability, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then you can limit the days. So if obviously Sunday you're saying people can have 1 day unavailability, but after that it stops, it's simply just click on 1 Sunday and make sure this is on. The next step you go to is your payments. So recently, Tournament Planner have enabled Stripe payments. So you have the option of PayPal and Stripe. So we're going to click on Stripe. It gives you the option, are payments required at time of entry? Are they optional? So we want required. Again, you can pick your currency. So you put in your Stripe account name and your Stripe account ID. And the same if we were to do PayPal, would be the exact same thing. Your email linked to your account and your certificate code. So you have all your tournament ready to go. You simply just click on publish here, and this will bring you to basically PayPal or Stripe. It'll ask you to log in. It'll ask you to fill out a form. Once you've done that, it'll ask you to pay on PayPal the license fee of €33 for using PayPal. And then it takes roughly 6 to 8 hours for the payment system to link to your account. So if you are opening your entry, do allow 6 to 8 hours after you've done your payments to allow it to function properly, because what will happen is sometimes people click payments here, fill out the PayPal or the Stripe thing, they have their entry open straight away and people can actually enter without paying, and then you're trying to chase them. So we've done all that, we've published it, it goes on the software, and we'll have entries come in. So I've created another account here, just going to open up. So after you open your entry, how do you get the details of people that have entered? So you simply go up here to Internet, go to Entries, and you follow the steps. So click on Next. So this will bring in all the entries that have entered your tournament. So you can see here, for argument's sake, we have 2 new players have entered. We have 52 already in the draw. We have 61 deleted players because maybe they've withdrawn and we've started to delete them. And then you have 21 new withdrawals. You also have 2 players not paid. So basically, if payment option is required, these players will not be downloaded until they pay their entry fee. If you've decided that they can pay on the day, you can manually follow the steps here, click on Next, and then click on their name and then add them to the tournament. Now we're not going to do this because we already have our players in, so we're just going to cancel out of that. So you'll see on the left-hand side here, your overview is your main page. So where you had your properties and stuff like that. If you click on players, this will give you the list of players that have entered your tournament, their events. It will give you their phone number, their member ID, their date of birth, entry fee, if they paid or not, if they're due money, and you'll see the time of entry and their club. The next tab here on the left is roster. So you can go down to each event and see people have entered. When you do your draws, you have your draws tab here. And again, for matches, you have your matches tab. There is a function on the software down here called messages that allow you to send email messages or SMS messages to players. This is maybe if you want to remind them of their match time, or if you want to go into, say, your 2023 one and send out a thing to say entry is open for 2024, you can do that. So say we have closing date done, all our entries are in, what's our next step? So the next step is to validate our players. Why do we validate our players? If we validate our players, it'll help us spot any mistakes. And it'll also, if we've manually imported someone, it'll fill in their contact details. So to validate players, simply go to tournament here and go to player validation. And it'll automatically validate players. Now it won't validate these players because I've taken out their details for the use of the software. Once they are validated, they will turn from yellow to white, and it'll bring up kind of a box with things that are wrong in your tournament. So if we go back into our roster, go to our women's doubles one, we'll see that this person here, Claudia, had said her partner is Aoife, but Aoife has also entered, but not given a partner. So we're simply going to click on it here and match the two of them up. We go down to our next one. We see, okay, we're okay. We have 4 entries. The women's doubles 4. We have 5 teams. Okay, men's singles 5. We have 4. Women's doubles 5, 4. Men's doubles 2. You see this guy here, Jack Kennedy, has entered, but his partner hasn't entered. So because our entries are full, we're going to move him by simply clicking on his name. And we're going to move him to the excluded list because he's not going to be in our tournament because he has no partner. We have the same story here with him. Again, move to the excluded list. Okay, so all your entries are in. Again, we see here in the women's doubles 1, obviously 1 entry, so we're not going to have an event. So we're simply going to move these also to the excluded list. Okay, the next step is our rankings. So we want to import our rankings for our players to help us seed their event. So you simply go to tournament, player, and follow down here to import ranking. So when you click on this, it'll give you the option to internet download. So this will be the up-to-date rankings. You click on next. So just make sure you're clicking the right rankings. So you have juniors, masters, and Tennis Ireland senior ranking. So we're going to click on this one. I'm going to click on this week. I'm going to hit next. And it'll simply bring in all the rankings for all the people on our system. Again, because I don't want to share contact details of these people, you won't see their rankings, but they will appear in this box here. It does have their WTN, and this is a thing called confidence level. So basically how many matches they won recently, it gives them a percentage and gives them a confidence level. So we know from our events list here, we're not going to have a men's doubles 1, not going to have a women's doubles 1. We're going to have a men's doubles 4. And we're going to do a round robin event for that, so we're not going to seed anyone. Women's doubles 4. We're going to do a round robin event, not going to seed anyone. Same with the men's singles 5. Same with the women's doubles 5. Same with the men's doubles 2. But we have 10 entries in our women's singles 3. So we're going to seed using the WTN. So if you look here, Orna Drone is number 1. Simply click on her here, click on main draw, and put in 1 of 2. And our number 2 seed is here. 2 of 2. Men's doubles 3. Again, we have 7 entries, so we are going to filter by WTN. 2 seeds. Okay, so you've done that. You want to show people that they're in the main draw. It will come up under people's accounts here. You say order main on most people, but sometimes it doesn't for some reason. But you can simply just hit their name and click on main. This may be due to the person having entered, withdrawn, then changed their mind and entered again. So they would have been in the main draw originally. Or they've changed events. And we do it for all the women's singles 3 as well. Okay, so you've done that. So the next step is to do your draws. So you move up here and you click on the draw icon. First of all, you want to add a draw. So you go to add a draw. So because I have highlighted here the men's doubles 1, the system automatically tells me we're going to do a men's doubles 1 draw. But we know we don't have any entries in this, so we're going to cancel and move to the women's doubles 1. And again, same thing, we've no entries, so we're not going to do that. So we're going to do the men's doubles 4. So previously we said we had 4 entries. So we said we do a round robin event. So simply click on round robin. You make sure that your size of your draw matches the number of entries. And you click on next. A lot of people now have the club beside the entry. People can see where they're from. So you can leave that ticked and you can click next and finish. So what this does then, if we go back to our little draw tab here, it generates the draw. But you can see there's no players in the draw. So to add a player, we simply go to draw. And we're going to make draw. Again, we're highlighting the men's doubles 4. It's highlighted here and it tells us entry 4, the draw and the size of the draw. Click on next. Again, separation options. We're going to click on none. We're going to hit next. And basically, this little box here shows me the draw. It'll show me that Jonathan Frisbee, Thomas Halley are in number 1 position. Liam Sutton, Thomas Walsh, number 2. Cyril Deavy, Ned Mullally, number 3. Christian and Tudor Varga, number 4. Simply click on finish. We click on, we want to save the draw. And our draw appears like that. So we're going to do this for all our events. Again, click on our women's doubles 4. Add a draw. Round robin event. 5 entries. Club and next and so forth. We go back to add our draws. Again, little women's doubles 4. Okay, say now we want to do, we've done the rest of them, we'll move on to our singles draw. So we'll go to draw again, follow the steps we have been. So this one, it's going to be an elimination draw, not a round robin draw because we have 10 entries. So because it's an elimination draw, it'll give you the option of doing a consolation event for people to have extra matches. So here is where you select your consolation event. So we wanted to do it on the first match they play, because in a draw of 10, we'll have 2 seeds out. So they'll be waiting for someone. So that's what we're going to do the first match. We're going to click on next. And that generates your draws. So if you go back over to your draw, you see you have your main draw here, women's singles 3. If you click on this tab here, it'll highlight your consolation draw. So again, we want to add people into that draw. So we're going to click on make draw. Go on next. Follow the steps. And here we have our draw. You will see that consolation is blank, but as people lose their first match, they will filter in. Once our men's doubles 3 draw. Again, elimination. We're not going to do a consolation for this event. I'm going to click on make draw. We're just going to add in the rest of the draws here. Main singles 5. Round robin. It's good to do these individually, because then you can check that they're actually there and then move on to the next one. And it's a round robin event. With no seats. There's doubles 2 and 5, so it's a round robin. You see now we have 5 entries, so the draw is automatically left at 4. So we need to change this to 5 to make sure everyone gets in. And we're going to make a draw. So if we click on our overview, click on our draws, we can see all our draws are in there, bar the ones that we don't have players for. Then our round robin events are unseeded, and our elimination events are seeded. So if you go back to your overview, click on this button here, statistics. It'll say I've 54 matches, and I have 54 matches to schedule that are not scheduled. If you click on this tab here, it gives you the court usage. So when I do start to schedule in a few moments, it'll start to put the number of matches in beside the times and stuff like that. Again, if you want to publish your draws before you start your schedule, go back to overview, click on publish this tournament on the web, and just make sure this is set to none, because you don't want to show any scheduled matches while you're working on it. And click on publish. Again, you can change a message here to say basically the tournament is opened and the entry draws are up and the schedule will follow. So next step, we want to start scheduling our matches. To do that, you go into your draws. Okay, we're going to start off with our biggest entry, which is the women's singles 3. And we're going to look for any back matches that need to be played. So you can see out here, our number 1 seeds are waiting on these 2 opponents to play. So we want to schedule this match first. So we click on it. And here it'll show you basically the number of courts you have available at this time. So we're going to put this match on at 9 AM on the first day. Yeah, we have another back match here. So we're going to go 9 AM. I did say I was putting this at 9, so I just need to change this to 9. Okay, back matches are in. And we're going to add the rest of our draws here. Now you can see here, for some reason, the system has showed an error that these 2 people are paired together for some reason. So if anything like that does happen, you simply go into your draws, your roster. So you see, basically, if you go back into players, so we have Claire Reedy and Orna Drone are the 2 we're looking for. Just untick the event. Make sure that it's correct. So Orna Drone and Claire Reedy are correct. So you'd write that down. And the same here with Dowling and Dempsey. You'd write that down. You go back to your roster. If you click on draws, it'll give you the option to delete your draw. So you're going to delete that. And you're going to go back and fix any error you saw. So if you go back into Dowling and Dempsey, just to unclick it, just to make sure it's okay. So if there is a mistake, you do make a mistake, you can delete the draw and redo it. But make sure to do this before you publish. Other person was Claire Reedy. And Orna Drone. So you can see down here that they originally entered doubles, but now they've entered singles. Okay, go back to my roster. And you see now my entries have changed from 10 to 12, so I have fixed the error. So again, because I've deleted the draw, I've also deleted the seeds. So I'm going to go back in. Click on these. I go back to my draw. Go back to add draw. Sort in elimination. Again, we are doing a consolation first match. We go to make draw. So if I go back to my draw tab here, you see the draw has fixed itself. It has changed. If you see now, my back matches have increased due to 2 more people in it. So I'm going to schedule these matches. All for first few time slots. Okay, so that's that part done there. We would then go to our next biggest draw, which will be here. Schedule these for 9 also. So you see here now, my 9 o'clock slot is gone because I've used 5 of 5 courts. So I'm moving on to my new time slot. Now, if I was to try and give these people another match, because I have a 60-minute window, it'll alert me here that this is the player's rest time. So I'd go to 12:45. And this half here is on early, so we can go 11:30. You see then I go to schedule the third match of the day in this event. And it won't leave me because my players have played the minimum matches a day they can in that category, whether it's singles or doubles or mixed. So I would schedule that for a different day. Once you fully schedule the draw, it will go from blue to green. So the different colors means gray, you have no entries. Red, you have no draws. Yellow, you have your draws done, but no times in. Blue, you've started to put in times. And green, you're completely finished. So once you have your times in, you simply go back to your overview and publish this tournament on the web. So after that, your tournament has started. You're taking in scores. How do I check people in and put in the score? Okay, so simply here we have, it's Friday. We're waiting for our first people to arrive in. These two people arrive in first. Click on their name and it turns them from red to green to say they're checked in. It'll also, because they're checked in first, move them to the top. And I want to add them onto a court. I simply click on them and we're going to drag them to court 1. And it shows they're on court 1 playing. And they've started 9 minutes early. This is a good way of selecting your courts. I would suggest you do this because if you're running a tournament and you see maybe there's a court behind your office or where you're sitting that you can't see, and you look at the time and you go, oh, they're on 90 minutes. It must be nearly finished. So there might be just a quick look out to that court to see what's going on. It's also nice that it shows up in the software that this game has lasted X amount of minutes and it's been on this court. Also, if people are arriving late and they want to watch this match, they simply go on the tournament software and they see this game is on court 1 and they can just go to that court. So court 1 come in, they finished. Click on their match here and you're going to say O'Connor won 6-1, 6-2. So if you put in 6-1, 6-2, just make sure that it does highlight here that O'Connor has won. And we'll say O'Connor was winning 5-2, got injured. You'd simply go here. You'd click on retired. And then you'd highlight McCarthy as the winner because O'Connor got injured. Again, if no one showed up for O'Connor to play, you'd simply click on walkover and make sure O'Connor is highlighted. So this is what it looks like. It'll ask you here, do you want to schedule the following match? You go yes if you do, and you can schedule it. Or if we put out this singles game here, and McGee won 6-3, 6-3. Make sure McGee has won. Click on OK. Do you want to schedule this match? We can click no. So because we, again, earlier on, clicked on this little button here, it'll automatically update the scores to the web. So basically, that's all the information you need for running tournaments, how to set it up, scores. There is different functions up here where you can click on reports, you can click on draws, players. So if you're looking for a payment list or entries, stuff like that, you can print your draws here. So basically, if we go print draws, you can edit portrait or landscape, stuff like that, or you can unclick what draws you want to highlight. You can print in color and all this kind of stuff. So it gives you the option here. It'll print any way you wish it to print. So your tournament has finished. You've published everything. You can check your capitation fees here. So 53 people paid capitation fee, total fees paid. So as your tournament progressed, you're adding this in, this figure will change. And so the only thing you've left to do is say player didn't show up or caused issues for you and you have to give them a code violation. You simply click on their name here, click on the code violation box, click add. So you'd select code, whether this person was late, no show, late withdrawal, racket abuse, didn't pay, or didn't complete a match. So for this one, we're just going to go late withdrawal. It was an off-court incident, and you'd put in the details. This person was a late withdrawal due to work commitments or something like that, and you click on OK. So basically, that will give people code violation points based on what you select. So that is all on Tournament software. There is a demo which you can download. We do have PDFs which we will send you, which will talk you through what we've done here for the properties, for PayPal, for Stripe, for doing draws, for doing seeds. So other than that, thank you for listening.